Hello and welcome to Totally Insane Guinness World Records. We've trawled planet Earth for the very best Guinness World Records on TV, so prepare to witness the human race in all its glory. Coming up, this man makes a mess on the floor. Very elaborate flirting. And this car takes the scenic route. But first, we start the show in London. And if you've ever craved seeing Fern Cotton and Ben Shepherd being propelled through the air at high speed, then today is your lucky day.
And I know how competitive you are. And now we're up here for some unknown reason. I'm even more terrified.
Don't worry, Fern, that is a perfectly natural reaction to being trapped in a tight space with Ben Shepherd.
We're going to try and set a brand new Guinness World Record for the highest ever human catapult.
Here's how it works. There's a 50-foot bungee cable attached to the cage that will be stretched 225 feet and then hooked to Fern and Ben. They'll be anchored to a 1-ton weight, and then some lucky individual will have the pleasure of pulling the safety cord and letting them fly off into the air.
Human catapult, baby.
That sounds absolutely terrifying in every way I can imagine. Ben, I wish I'd stayed in bed.
Look, stop moaning. Once we've had all the instruction, we've got all the right gear, you'll be fine.
The non-sexual tension between these two is almost unbearable. Right, let's get all the rules from Marco.
The rules for this record are really straightforward. You need to be catapulted to the greatest height.
Don't use that word.
Yeah, mind your language.
It's not about speed, it's not about how quick, it's about who gets to the highest point.
Exactly, yeah.
Fern needn't be worried. Marco's so confident it's safe, he's volunteered an effigy of himself to try it first.
Oh yes, there he is.
What do you reckon?
Got a good likeness,
He
actually.
looks remarkably calm about the whole thing.
This is what you're going to experience.
Go, Marco.
Good luck, son. 2, 1.
Lift off. Oh, he's matched his socks to his helmet.
I'm absolutely not doing that. That's
Someone's just
ridiculous.
fainted over there.
But Fern will be doing that later in the show. Now, I've seen some interesting clothes choices in my time, but this lady is certainly pushing the boundaries. Her name is Victoria, and sadly, she won't be wearing that fluffy hoodie for too much longer, as she's about to attempt the record, along with a chap called Zos, who looks like a henchman from a Steven Seagal movie, for the most costume change illusions in 2 minutes.
Du musst noch was machen?
3, 2, 1, los!
So, it's time for the first outfit change. And wow, that was quick. Now remember, Victoria's got to switch outfits as many times as possible in 2 minutes if she's going to set a new Guinness World Record, and she's definitely fast. I get the feeling that her male friend Zos is a bit of a spare part here. He's just sort of following her around theatrically. At least let him lift something. There you go. Very Florence Welch, which I think would make Zos the Machine. Even against the clock, Victoria's still finding time to dance mystically between costume changes. It's the sign of a true pro. Oh, I got stuck in one of these things at my 5th birthday party. It was terrifying. Now, I'm fairly sure this one doesn't count. That is just a hat. I stand corrected. I can actually do with one of those when I want to change into my trunks on the beach. I'll tell you what, clothes shopping with Victoria must be a right breeze. You'd be in and out of the changing rooms in a flash. Oh, very nice. I like that one. Have you got it in pink? Yes, that's nice, but I think actually it would look better in blue. I said blue. Perfect. I'll take it. For a friend. Now, if you're wondering how this act is done, I can reveal that so am I. I've got no idea how they're doing it. Bagsy, I don't do the vacuuming up afterwards. Time for the last change now. And finally, she's made her mind up. But it's not long before she gets upset, thinking about how much dirty washing there's going to be in the laundry basket after all of that. So, by my count, that was 15 costume changes in 2 minutes. Roughly how long it takes me to put on a pair of socks in the morning, which means a Guinness World Record for Victoria and for Zos. Bravo. Get a room. Next, we're in Spain, and someone appears to have left a suitcase unattended in the studio. The lady in pink seems rather reluctant to open it, though. I'm sure it'll be okay. It's not like you can fit anything that weird inside a suitcase, is it? I stand corrected. That is certainly one way to get a cheap flight. This is Daniel Browning Smith, also known as Rubber Boy, who discovered he can bend himself into positions like this. I hate to imagine under what circumstances. Now, you might be thinking, this is all very well, but what real-world applications does this ability have? Well, the answer is that it's a great way to get the girls. Who could possibly resist accepting a kiss blown like this? He really does think outside of the box. And sometimes he likes to think inside the box. Huh? Because he's getting inside the box. I don't know why I bother. Certainly looks comfy. But it's an altogether different record that Rubber Boy is going for today, and it involves a toilet seat. Of course it does. We'll be back in a bit to find out what's going down. Now, if you thought a man getting into a box of his own accord was impressive, you're going to love this dog. This is Sweet Pea, a pooch who knows no better than to spend all of her time with a man inexplicably dressed as Popeye, and who's taught her a load of tricks. And this. At least she's loving it. But enough of that. Sweet Pea and her owner Alex are here today to try and break the record for the most skips by a dog in 1 minute, which currently stands at 63. They're off, and as you can see, they've roped in a woman to help them who has really missed a trick by not dressing as a can of spinach. When not skipping, Sweet Pea enjoys walks in the park, chasing tennis balls and browsing the internet, looking at pictures of Peter Andre. Sweet Pea is maintaining a steady skipping pace and is managing not to get too distracted by the presenter's cleavage. Not long to go now. Come on, Sweet Pea, you can do it.
9, 8.
That's got to be confusing, two people counting different numbers at the same time, but nothing phases this dog. Time's up, and Sweet Pea has done herself proud, and Popeye looks like he's about to pass out. 65 skips in a minute, breaking the old record by 2 and making them Guinness World Record holders. Alex, of course, gets a certificate, and Sweet Pea gets some hair tips from her new friend. Well done. We're back in London now for the highest human catapult, and Ben Shepherd is harnessed in, strapped up and ready to go. Keep it dignified, Ben. I bet Fern can't wait to have a go. It's a good jump, and despite what appears to be a serious wedgie, Ben has lived to tell the tale. So, I think it's time we let Fern loose on the bungee.
Oh, this is a stupid idea. Who invented this ridiculous record? Ah! Oh, I don't want to do it! Oh my god! No!
3, 2, 1, bungee!
Oh, come on, Fern. This can be no worse than that time you had to spend 48 hours with Peaches Geldof. In fact, the whole thing has been such an ordeal that it's caused Fern to cry an invisible tear.
Oh my god, Ben, that was insane. Oh my god, I'm really having a bit of a shake, look.
Ben, sympathetic as ever there. Well, shakes or not, they're both required to have another attempt, and this time Fern's up first.
No.
3, 2,
Okay, here we go.
How is it, Fern? Now, I'm no expert, but I think there was Morse code for I'm really not enjoying it very much.
That felt considerably higher.
So, time for Ben's last attempt. Glum face, practical shoes, and screaming like a banshee. Everything I look for in a record. It certainly looks high, but who bungeed the greatest distance? Let's wait for Ben to stop giggling to get the answer.
I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried your flapping will have done it.
Oh, what?
Am I flying?
Oh.
Well, Ben, you
Yes.
achieved a height of 178 feet.
Oh, that's right, isn't it?
Massive.
178.
Fern, you did a height of 183 165.
which means Ben Shepherd has taken it.
Well done, Shep.
So Ben wins a hug from Fern Cotton, some high tens off a collection of strangers, and most importantly, a certificate, which he can also use as a makeshift mirror to look at his own beautiful reflection.
Well deserved.
It's surely every young boy's dream to squeeze their entire body through a detached toilet seat. Well, today, our flexible friend Rubber Boy is living the dream as he attempts the record for the fastest time to pass through a toilet seat 3 times, which is certainly a much more valuable record than only passing through a toilet seat twice. The guys that do that are just amateurs.
2, 1, go.
He's off. He started by getting rid of the lid. Smart move. And he's getting his arms in straight away. A technique as old as the hills, of course, in this much-fancied sport. I, like many other people, still think it's scandalous that after all these years, it still hasn't been classified as an official Olympic event. Coming to the tricky part now, getting his bum through the seat. Let's face it, it's the last thing that's supposed to happen. So it's no surprise it's proving a bit tough. The seat has grabbed hold of his trousers, turning this into an unexpected striptease. But Rubber Boy is undeterred and goes for round 2 of 3. With round 2 almost complete, it's the final hurdle now.
10 seconds.
The record currently stands at 1 minute 28, so time is of the essence. I do hope he's wearing plasters over those nipples. And another quick look at his pants, and he's done it! At 1 minute 21, he shaved 7 seconds off the record, as well as a layer of skin off some very sensitive areas of his body. And he started quite a craze, so much so that everyone wants a go, which I think is our cue for an ad break.
Por la petaca, que
Still to come, the world's most elaborate speed bump. This guy risks it all by opening an umbrella indoors. And this man eats a burger. Riveting. Welcome back. We're heading over to China now for a stunt involving a car, some daredevil drivers, and an over-enthusiastic presenter. There she is. They're all gathered to attempt the record for the largest loop-the-loop in a car. Yes, a vehicle has got to get all the way around this epic structure, a sort of London Eye of the temporary road world. If you're a fan of circle measurements, you'll be delighted to hear it's almost 43 feet in diameter. The presenter is going to give it a try first, a move which has prompted a slow clap from the gathered crowds. Now, either she's not really enjoying this, or there are 2 foxes mating in that car. Ah, disappointing. But we will be back in China soon for the main event. As a child, I was told that it was rude to spit, but the parents of Mr. Dixon Oppong of Ghana were obviously a little bit more liberal. He's a man who's never been concerned by a hosepipe ban in his life, as he is his very own walking, talking water feature. And if you think this man's got it all, then I reckon you're probably right. He can do things with a washing up bowl and an umbrella that I can only dream of. And by the looks of that outfit, he's also available for pantomime this Christmas. But what record is he after, I hear you silently mumble to yourselves? Well, we'll find out in just a second. But while Dixon rehydrates, let's go back to China, and the crowd has swelled, revved up for the largest loop-the-loop ever attempted, 43 feet in diameter. And this time our intrepid driver is going to try it without the presenter shrieking next to him. I think she's just been told that now. And it's a smooth start. Right, nobody try to steal anything. This event is being monitored. Quite a big run-up is needed, of course, to get to the speed required, which, according to my notes, is very fast. He's up, he's round, and he's down. This guy even makes stopping the car look impressive. It seems a shame to have gone to all that effort to build a massive loop for it all to fly by so quickly, so it seems only right that we should have a minimum of 3 different action replays. I could watch this all day, but you can have too much of a good thing, can't you? So it's a record for our driver Li Yatao. There's a major electrical fault unfolding behind them, but nobody's concerned. Congratulations, everybody. Right, Dixon is just finishing off another bottle of water, bringing the total up to 4.5 litres, which should make sure he's well enough stocked up to attempt the record for the longest time to spray water from the mouth. Now, there are, of course, rules for this record. Firstly, his mouth must be empty before he starts, and secondly, he must be wearing a really loud outfit. Both boxes have been ticked, so here goes. It's a good start, Dixon maintaining a very steady stream there. He's gone for the classic philosopher in mid-thought pose. Nice touch. Dixon often likes to do this trick whilst at a urinal to confuse people standing behind him. The crowd are loving it. Dixon is spurting water like a dolphin with a bladder infection, but it looks like he's almost out of juice. Amazingly, he managed to keep that water spraying for a grand total of 29.99 seconds, and by my careful calculations, I think that means... Congratulations, Dixon! Yeah, he doesn't need a medal, he needs a flannel. Over to Australia now to meet Will Elric. Despite having only one leg, he's got a black belt in karate and is planning on climbing Everest. But first things first.
So my training for this event has involved a lot of my martial arts training, which is predominantly a lot of hopping up on benches, hopping down on benches. I hop all the time, so this is going to be nothing. It's going to be fun, it's going to be hard, but you know what? I'm going to do it. And it's always good to beat a two-legger.
Go.
Will is going for the record for the longest duration treadmill hopping. The current record is held by this guy, Trey Bennett, a Kiwi, which is all the motivation you need if you're an Aussie. Will is aiming to beat the current record of 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And we're all hopping, it's going to be a success. Huh? Hopping is going to be a success, like the word hoping, like the word hoping. They sort of sound the same. No? All right, see yourself.
Mixed emotions.
We'll be back later to see how he gets on. We're heading outside now for a record that requires some special protection, although I don't think the gloves necessarily have to be that big. I can only assume Hagrid pulled out of presenting at the last minute. I don't know what this man's smiling about, because he's going to try and break the record for the heaviest mantle of bees covering him. Yes, a mantle of bees. He's braver than Jack Bauer, which I can only assume is the reason they've gone for this 24-style split screen. So, in the words of Paddy McGuinness, let the bees see the entire surface area of a man's body. It needs work. As you can see, a team of fearless helpers are guiding the bees towards him. He does, however, have one rule. Nobody is allowed to touch his hair, not even a bee. And it may be the hair that's the undoing of him, because despite being covered, it's still not enough to break the existing record of 61.4 kilograms or 613,500 bees. Sadly, he's only managed a mere 36 kilograms. I hope they give him a pot of honey at the very least. Right, let's see how Will is getting on with his treadmill hopping.
Lost his right leg in a car accident 12 years ago, and since then has climbed some of the biggest mountains on the planet, hungry for achievement. 3 minutes.
And with all that exercise, he's probably also hungry for a burger. 3 minutes, 10 seconds is the time to beat, and Will is extremely close.
That's a new world record. We've got it.
You say we've got it. I think Will's got it. You've just stood there shouting.
He's not stopping there. He's not stopping there. He is going to smash this one out of the park for Australia.
Will's now trying to break the 4-minute barrier and become the Roger Bannister of hopping on a treadmill with one leg in Australia.
Come on, Will, you can do it, mate. Keep pushing. We're at 3 minutes 48. You can break the 4-minute line, mate. It's a Guinness World Record. You've got it in you. We know you do.
Will has a look of steely determination / boredom on his face. It's an impressive performance,
He's broken 4 minutes.
but let's find out if it counts. I'll give you a clue, it clearly does.
Oh, yes! Is it officially a new world record?
Okay, the record stood at 3 minutes 10.95 seconds. And Will, you have just hopped for 4 minutes 2.6 seconds, a new Guinness World Record. Congratulations.
Will has smashed the world record by nearly a whole minute of hopping. Nice one.
Means you score yourself one of these, a Guinness World Record medal. Well done.
Nice.
Mate, very inspiring. So you're climbing mountains, you're doing great things. So cheers for coming on the show.
Cheers, James.
Over to America now, where these two chefs have been tearing their hair out to try and create the world's largest hamburger. There it is, being revealed like a big meaty sandcastle. The bald chefs are multiplying to apply cheese to the whopping Whopper, weighing in at 84.14 kilos and $499 in cash. This is the world's largest hamburger, all thanks to Mally's Sports Grill and Bar in Southgate, Michigan. I really hope they've reinforced that table. I dread to think how big the bottle of ketchup's going to need to be. And if you're a fan of records involving burgers, then it's your lucky day. This man has escaped from the stage at Butlins and fled to New York for our final record. The man doing the challenge is this guy, who's under arrest for crimes against amateur dramatics. His punishment is to eat a lot of burgers. And if that concept is proving difficult for you to understand, then don't worry, here are some graphics to help. He'll eat lots of burgers, and a woman will give him the thumbs up. That's pretty much it. Sounds good to me. Takeru Kobayashi has got to eat as many hamburgers as he can in 3 minutes. They're all a uniform weight, and that means they're not little ones like this. They're proper big ones, like this. There's even a bit of gherkin there. So, with the citizens of New York gathered, it's time to begin.
行きましょう !3, 2,
The scarf is off, and there is no messing about from Kobayashi here. He is making mincemeat of that first burger. A quick sip of water, a more difficult task than you might imagine when your fringe covers one of your eyes, plays havoc with your depth perception. The current record stands at 5 burgers, so he's got to keep chomping. And I know burgers are meant to be fast food, but this is ridiculous. He's just eaten his 6th burger, which means he's now broken the record. The authorities are absolutely loving it, and the rest of the crowd, well, they're slightly less bothered. But what does it matter? Because this man is stuffing burgers in his face at an alarming rate. He's approaching the mythical 10 burgers in 3 minutes mark. For centuries, the greatest thinkers of their generations have debated whether such a feat was even possible.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
With one final flash of the tonsils, the record is his. Careful not to squeeze him too hard. Don't want to ruin that red jacket. And of course he gets a certificate. Now, what's for dessert?
前の記録を5個もオーバーしてギネス世界記録樹立。当分この記録